Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Get More Sports World Tour Soccer Podcast. I am EJ Gar, of course, and thanks for tuning in this week. Really appreciate you everyone taking the time. And, it's, a lot going on here. Of course, Champions League group stage being announced and Europa League group stage also being announced. Plenty of football to discuss here on the Get More Sports World Tour. And it's cool to have a lot going on. And, of course, all the European leagues are going to be off this weekend due to Euro 2016. And, it's cool to see all the club, big major competitions going on with the nations. And, of course, all the club competitions going on as well. And, of course, MLS and NASL are flying around this weekend. Serie B in Italy is finally sorting out which two teams are going to make it into that league. And a lot of discussion about all the match fixing and that was going on. Of course, it's finally getting underway this weekend. Now that the final two clubs are known, and Ascoli and Verde Santella will be taking over for Catania and Teramo. Well, that's what happens when you're busted for fixing matches. Come on, man. Of course, we know in July, Catania president Antonio Bovetti, he admitted to fixing games with like 5 other Serie B clubs. Nice job, man. Good stuff. Hey, idiot. It's just, Serie B also announced it's pretty cool, the implementation of what they're calling a green card. And it doesn't mean that it's a part of a visa that gets you into another country. It's going to be, and it's not going to replace the yellow or the red card. Well, it's amazing. They're actually going to be used for assessment of fair play. Cool is that? That's a cool little thing. The new card designation came as a response to UEFA's request to present a reward system, and this all came down after UEFA President Michael Platini was trying to suggest an event, a white card actually, and would have been more like a hockey penalty type thing. We're giving the club a 10-minute power play. That's interesting, right? Can you imagine just getting sent off for 10 minutes and then being able to be allowed to come back on the pitch? Very strange what a white card would have meant to soccer. I don't see how that could ever happen. A power play for 10 minutes. Why? I don't get it. I don't know why they would try to change the system that's already in place. Pretty sure a yellow card and a second yellow card or a red card to be sent off is good enough. And this green card is certainly strange. And it's again rewarded. You're actually going to be rewarded with a green card. I don't get it. Hopefully, when we see more of them, we'll understand what it's all going to mean. But it's certainly strange when I saw the whole green card coming into play and that white card option that might be out there soon. And I personally don't think I want to see that white card thing. Giving someone a power play. You commit an offense, you get a yellow card. Power play. This isn't hockey, people. We don't play soccer on ice. Get break. I think it's stupid. I really do. But you know what? It's second tier Italy. What are you going to do? But of course, everyone who knows me knows. 1982, 1983 or so, I've been following all these Italian leagues, and it's been a long time for me. It's 32 years now or so, since I was about 13, 14 years old. I loved all these Italian leagues. I actually got to go to camp over there in Italy, and it was cool to be part of all that. It's kind of how I became a Roma fan, and I got to actually see some of that stuff and experience that back in the 80s, and it's pretty cool. But, let's get back into this. Again, we mentioned Champions League group stage, and so much going on. So much going on. It's cool to see that some of these clubs are actually surprising. There are 3 clubs making their first ever appearance. And, I certainly want to go over some of the group stage stuff and what we have going on here. Because, obviously, Group A, Shakhtar, Malmo, PSG, and Real Madrid, in the same group. That is a nice group. I'll tell you what. I don't see anybody. Of course, Paris and Malmo will face off right away. Real Madrid and Shakhtar will face off in the first match of 6. Of course, they'll be playing 6 rounds, and it'll be September 15th and September 16th, first round. And so much fun. I know I've been looking forward to this. And of course, anybody who's I've been busy. I think I've given out some plays here and there. And doing pretty well, actually. It's, I love the European League stuff. Some of that it just comes to you. You either know what you're talking about or you don't. And so far we've fared pretty well so far, and certainly been enjoying my time with that. And Yeah, so I definitely want to go over the groups here. Like I mentioned, we just covered Group A, and I definitely want to hand out some lines here, too, because there's lines all over the place. Of course, Real Madrid's minus 200 to walk out of that group, with PSG at plus 200 to win that group. And that's an interesting bet, too. Of course, Real Madrid, I don't want to expect Real Madrid to do anything but win. And you know what? They really didn't look impressive for opening day. Of course, they got back on track last weekend. Pretty convincing victory. But they played both the two new teams to La Liga. So they really haven't played any of the clubs who have been there, for the past 50 years. Pretty lucky to be able to take on the two newcomers in their first two matches. And they really haven't looked all that convincing. Of course, the win last weekend, like I mentioned. Okay, so it's not that good for you. Of course, Shakhtar is 1,900, and Malmo is plus 15,000. That's not going to happen. Sorry, Swedish fans. Wish I could put 15,000 on the board there. That'd be nice, huh? Nice to even put $100 on that. Yeah, no, just no. And Group B. Group B is interesting too. Manchester United with PSV in there, CSKA Moscow and Wolfsburg. That's quite a group. Tell you what, Manchester United, of course, is favored at minus 125. And from there, if Manchester United doesn't win that group, you can probably make some pretty good money. Wolfsburg is next in line at plus 250. And PSG is plus 1,300, and Moscow is plus 570. Weird line. That's a weird line. Imagine you might have to think about if Moscow can come out of that group. Of course, it's going to be pretty difficult. Wolfsburg, we know, can score. Of course, they're amongst leaders in Germany. And it's going to be an interesting group right there. No doubt about it. We'll get into some of that, of course. In Group C, Benfica and Atletico Madrid and Galatasaray and Astana. That's, of course, Kazakhstan coming in at plus 20,000. Yeah, no. It's just no. Atletico Madrid, you know what? I'm not convinced with them at all. Losing Mandzukic was a little bit of something, and I certainly don't think that Griezmann's going to be the guy over there. We've already seen Atletico Madrid. It's just, I'm not impressed at all with that club. I'm really not. You already know what you're getting. You're going to get into a 1-0 game. It's going to be 1-0 Atletico Madrid all year, the rest of the year. I can't stand that team. It's just nothing goes on. It's like watching paint dry when you watch Atletico matches. I'm just not a big fan of theirs. Of course, they're heavily favored to come out of that group at minus 250, and there's really no money there to be had. So it's almost worth taking a chance. But there's no one in that group that can really hang with it. Benfica? Benfica. I don't see it. I just don't see it. Atletico Madrid's trying to get it come out of there, of course. And, Group D. Group D now, here we go. Juventus trying to get back to the finals, of course. They lost 2-1 to Barcelona last year in the finals in Germany. They're obviously going to want to get back there, but they have not gotten off to a good start at all. Nothing draw on opening day, and then a 2-1 match last weekend against my Roma club with no Francesco Totti, which I'm still absolutely, everybody knows I host the Into the Cosmos podcast every week, and my co-host and I, frankly, actually went to New York City, hung out and watched the Roma-Juventus match, and then we ended up going to the Cosmos game and hanging out, watching that together as well. Man, we had a great day. Of course, Roma won, the Cosmos won. Thank you. Good enough for me. That was a great day. But, Juventus, they just do not look good. I'll get into the Totti thing further along in the season. What the hell he's doing on that team? Retire. He actually played in the final preseason game, scored a goal late in the game. He was on the pitch for most of it. And then the season starts, and you don't even play against Juventus, and you don't have the season opener with the game. What are you waiting for? Why the hell are you on that team? I wish he'd retire. I really do. Like I said, I'm the biggest Roma fan out there. Francesco Totti needs to quit. Go to your wife, hang out with your couple kids, go hang out in Rome, and go be a star. I'm so pissed off. I can't. Just ridiculous. What are you sitting there for? Coach. Go coach or something, or go to the beach. Anyway, Manchester City in Group D is obviously favored, but it's only plus 100, even money. And Juventus at plus 180, and Sevilla at plus 550. That's interesting. You know what? They did pretty damn well in Europa League last year. It's pretty tough to see. I mean, obviously coming out of that group is going to be tough for Manchester City. Of course, everyone who's seeing what's going on in England right now, Manchester City has just been ridiculous. I mean, my God, man. How are you going to stop a team that you can't stop scoring and you can't score against? Because obviously Manchester City There's a lot of mission this year, and it's pretty obvious what the hell they're doing over there. It's amazing. I mean, if you're not impressed with what Manchester City's doing, especially after last year, we talked about it all year last year in our previews over at Diamond. And, man, defense much? I mean, how many times did they fall apart? Up 2-0, up 2-1, up 2-0. No. Draw, lose. This year they have it together. And Vincent Kompany is doing a great job on that back line and contributing towards the offensive side as well. Of course, Torre is doing great as well. And, man, Sergio, good luck with Manchester City right now. Could be tough to beat them. And, of course, Mönchengladbach in there, too. At 1,800, like, they have just no chance. Of course, they look terrible. It's amazing how bad they looked so far in German League, and that's Bundesliga is not doing well for them. And, we'll see how long they last in that group. It's going to be pretty tough. Of course, like we meant, Juventus does not have their stuff together right now. And Paul Pogba putting on that number 10 jersey, big mistake. You're not number 10, man. Who he thinks he is putting on that number 10 jersey, and you know what? I know everyone sees Paul Pogba as this guy who can take over games and has a great shot from distance and all that. Yeah. Now they're going to let him take all these free kicks in close and all that. Good luck. You are not Andrea Pirlo, my friend, and Tevez is gone as well. Of course, man, how do you replace all those guys? Too many losses for Juventus. I don't see how Manchester City can't win that group, so I imagine they're going to find a way to move on there. Of course, Group B, Barcelona's not going to come out of that group. Minus 525. No money there to be had. It's just nothing. Roma and Leverkusen and Borussia. Interesting group, of course. If Roma can actually come out and actually play some football, that'd be great. Of course, on a personal note, I'd like to see it. But, Leverkusen is going to be tough, too. They certainly have a chance here. I mean, I actually think that Barcelona and Leverkusen will probably be the two teams that advances. I just don't think Roma is going to be able to do it. And obviously, big Borussia at plus 25,000. No. Just no. And Group F. Boy, hello, Group F. How you doing here? Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Dynamo Zagreb, and Olympiacos. Interesting group, right? I mean, wow. Of course, Zagreb at 10,000. Not going to happen. And Bayern hugely favored, and of course they should be at minus 275. It's actually not that unreasonable. I mean, you can't put $100 on that. You're not going to really get anything back for it. But, of course, Bayern Munich's just so heavily favored. What do you do with Group F besides just watch Bayern move on and maybe wonder about the second club that moves out of there? But Arsenal's probably going to come out. I mean, it's just, the plus 245 sitting there on them is kind of interesting. But that's just not going to happen. They're not going to win the group. They should probably advance out. Group G, Chelsea, Porto, Kiev, and Tel Aviv. Interesting. I mean, that obviously it's going to be between Chelsea and Porto. I like Porto in that group. You know what? Chelsea has not looked very convincing to me so far. To anybody, who out there is going to say, I don't know, man. Chelsea's looked pretty impressive. They're ready for the season. Yeah, they're not ready for a damn thing. And Mourinho is, going to lose his marbles here at some point. I like Porto to take that. I'll tell you what, a plus 270. You want to tell me I can put $100 on Porto? Good enough. I got no problem with that. Trading Chelsea, sold. I don't believe in anything that they have going on. Yeah, you're defending champs. Woo. Don't care. Group H. It's the final group in that round in Zenit, Valencia, Lyon, and Ghent. Boy, obviously Ghent has no shot at plus 6,000. They're probably not going to come out of Group H. And, I don't think anyone expects them to. But there's at least some wiggle room here with Valencia. Minus 105 or almost even money. I guess it depends on the book and the time you get that play in. But I imagine Valencia's going to come out of there. But, of course, we know Zenit at home. St. Petersburg's pretty tough in Russia. You're not going to beat them there. So, obviously 3 home matches, 3 away matches. If Zenit can get by Valencia, they certainly have a shot. Plus 255, and Lyon's not exactly scared of anybody in this group either. But plus 300, there's at least something there. I don't know if they're going to actually win the group. But they might be able to come out of there. I think Valencia and Zenit will probably end up coming out. I just don't see Lyon as the French side coming out of there. But, of course, match day 1, September 15th and 16th. We discussed match day 2 will be in the final week of September, the 29th and 30th, Tuesday and Wednesday, of course. Match day 3, October 20th and 21st, and we'll move into November for match day 4, November 3rd and 4th. Match day 5, again in November, at the end of November, November 24th and 25th. And match day 6 to wrap up The group stage will be December 8th and 9th. Get ready for the holiday. Pretty cool stuff, man. Of course, the draw for round 16 will be held on December 14th, and we'll figure out, of course, as they resituate after the group stage round. And interesting stuff. It's really really cool to see. Of course, it's cool how they designated all this stuff this year with the UEFA rankings and how they actually figured out what clubs start the whole thing and back in qualifying rounds, round 1 and round 2 and round 3 and then to the playoffs. And I love that kind of stuff. I think it's cool how they implemented the whole system to figure out which teams are going to play when. It's pretty cool stuff. But let's move on to Europa League. Some big stuff going on here too. I love Europa League. It's 48 clubs taking part in the group stage there, so there's a lot going on. You know when you see groups, when you see Group L, you're going to be dealing with some football, man. I mean, Group L, huh? So yeah, Group A through L, a lot of clubs going on. Obviously, we're going to start right at Group A. So I'm getting my lines up here to win Europa League, and it's amazing. Borussia Dortmund is favored to win Europa League. And, wow, I don't know, man. We saw how they ended last year. A great run. I mean, I remember, if anyone remembers, Dortmund struggled early last season. And, finally made their way back up. It's amazing how they actually even got to Europa League with what they went through early last campaign. So it's amazing to see how they ended. And then they lose their coach, and now they're doing great. So it's pretty amazing, really. And plus 600, obviously some money there. I mean, there's certainly money in Europa League if you want to take Dortmund to come out of that whole thing with a title. And they certainly have a good shot. I mean, we see Napoli, they're 1,500. Tottenham's at plus 1,600. Fiorentina is also 1,600. But you can take out Napoli and Fiorentina. Tell you what, there's going to be no Italian team winning Europa League for the next 20 years. It's just they don't care. Yeah, they've made it pretty clear that they don't care. And I certainly then Lazio getting knocked down too. And Lazio is going to have absolutely zero interest in coming out of Europa League. Zero. They don't care. I'll tell you that right now. I don't need to go in that locker room. I don't need to hear from the coach. And they can say whatever they want. Yeah, we're going to try and give that thing a good run. Yeah, shut up. You don't know. Just please give me a break. Italian teams just don't care. It's just it's almost they did actually take a spot away from them, if you recall. If you're not going to take, of course, UEFA said if you're not going to take it seriously, well, then what the hell are we giving you a spot for? Yeah, well, this is why. They just don't care. Liverpool plus 1,300 is an interesting play too. Obviously doing well on the defensive side of the ball so far in their English Premier campaign. And doing pretty well. And they're at the Lions. And I want to get into the group stuff with them. It's pretty cool. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I'm hoping. It looks like it's already solidified that I'm going to have Phil Schoen coming on here from beIN Sports next week, and we're going to discuss all this stuff a little bit further in depth. But I just want to get everybody kind of prepared for what's going to be happening. So not everybody has the time to go look at the groups and look over everything. So I definitely want to touch base with everybody and get everybody situated here, let you know what's going on. And, to win the Europa League, and as a whole, we mentioned Dortmund. And, kind of go group by group here. Group A is the only group, actually, where every team has a plus money line. Every other group, from B to L, you're going to have to pay for that winner. There's juice all over the place. And so it'd be nice to be able to pick a winner out of Group A because you're going to have plus money. It's certainly want to worry about your return of investment. It's you want plus money on the board, of course, right? Hello. So, Fenerbahce, plus 120. Come out of Group A with Celtic, Molde, and Ajax, and interesting group. Ajax is plus 175 as well. They're right there in contention to win that group. Celtic, of course, plus 425, and then you throw in Molde at plus 1,600. No. So, but Ajax is an interesting pick there. It's plus 175. You stare at that, and you're like, the value there. But, Fenerbahce is probably going to find a way to come out of that. But at plus 120, there's money there. So there's really no reason not to take that. I think they'll come out of that group. Group B, Rubin Kazan, Bordeaux, Liverpool, and Sion. Poor Sion has no chance to win this. But Liverpool at minus 225, there's really no value there either. Bordeaux, oh, man, can you really dump your money on a French club to come out of there? I can't. I just can't. I'm never really convinced. You know, we saw Monaco kind of make a little run last year. They did pretty well with all those 1-0 games, 1-0 games, 1-0 games. My God, just 1-0 every Monaco game it seemed. And, you know, Ruben Cazorla plus 550. Boy, nice to see them come out of there, isn't it? I mean, boy. Of course, Liverpool's going to come out of that group. I just don't see how they can. That's if they take it seriously, of course. We'll see what happens. Group C. Definitely an interesting group. Krasnodar, Babala, POAKFC, Borussia Dortmund. Of course, Dortmund's favored to win the whole thing. So, you know, they're going to come out of that whole thing with, I don't see Palkas coming out of there. There's no money to be had. I mean, Group C, just, you know, look at that. You're not taking Dortmund. I don't even think you can put them in a combo and have that worth even a dime. I mean, minus 475 to take the group. You know, when you're favored to win the entire thing, obviously you're going to win your group. And, I imagine they'll fly out of that group. It's going to be no one's going into Germany and beating them there out of that group. So let's move to Group D, of course, called Bruges. And boy, did you see what Midtjylland did with Southampton? Took them out. Pretty impressive to take out a Premier League club like that. And now they're plus 900. They just have no chance to come out of that. Really? You just took out Southampton? I understand Southampton's not the team they were last year, and they're certainly not playing that well this year. I mean, my God, their preseason stunk. Now their regular season stinks. I mean, they've been horrible. So, yeah, well, obviously with Liga Warsaw and Napoli and Bruges. And Napoli being favored there, it's not going to happen. But the problem is that group is weak. I mean, I just don't think that Liga Warsaw can find a way to come out of there. They're just not going to win that group either. I almost want to put like $50 on Midtjylland to come out of there from Holland. That would be amazing to see them come out of that group. Huge underdog. No chance. They just couldn't win. Really? You know what? I'm certainly not putting any money on Napoli to do anything. I'm just, again, like I said, I just am not convinced that Italian teams are going to do well in the Europa League. They just don't care. And, I might just throw $50 on that team from Netherlands to take out Group D. That'd be a pretty interesting bet, right? And let's move to Group B here at Dynamo Minsk, Rapid Vienna, Villarreal, and Victoria Plzen. Tough group, right? Villarreal is obviously minus 200. Certainly expected to come out of that group. That makes sense. I mean, it's they certainly have the goods to get out of that group. At minus 200, that may be good combo material. You might be able to throw that in with something, somewhere like maybe with that even money line we were talking about up at with like Fenerbahce or something like that, where you can actually get a little combo money, get the money back, and then some on a nice little combo there if you can put them together. But that's about it really there. I mean, Dynamo plus 2,000, that's not going to happen, and plus 500, no. But Group F. Group F is interesting too, right? Olympic, Marseille, Liberec, Braga, and Groningen. Groningen, it's interesting too, at plus 500. Like they just couldn't come out of Group F, right? No way. Yeah, obviously, Marseille is probably likely to come out of that group. Minus 120, that's not actually all that bad. So, guess you can see if there's some money there to be had. I would imagine. I can certainly understand. I'm sure when Phil comes on, hopefully he comes on like I mentioned next week. We're going to talk about Marseille. And pretty sure we'll both agree that Marseille's going to come out of that group. And at minus 120, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not the worst play out there. Group G, of course, Rosenborg, Dnipro, Lazio, and Saint Etienne. And Lazio, like I mentioned, to get knocked out that quick of champion. I mean, knocked out, done, sent down. It's just like I mentioned, Lazio's not winning this group, so at minus 120, that's actually a gift because they're still favored to win that group. So pick anyone out of that group. Either Dnipro or Saint Etienne. Again, these French sides sometimes they can surprise you. I might want to splash that Saint Etienne at plus 365 to come out of Group G. You know what? There's value there. With Lazio not taking this event as seriously as I expect, might be some good money there with Saint Etienne. But we'll talk about that stuff next week, of course, as well. But Group H too: Besiktas, Sporting, Lokomotiv, Skinder Bew. Yeah, I like saying it. Skinder Bew. Yeah, that's how I'm going to say it. If you like it, I hope you like it. Yeah, of course they have no shot. Sporting's going to take that group. There's no doubt about it. And minus 105. I mean, okay, Besiktas might give them a little bit of battle, and I expect them to come out with them. But, minus 105, I'll take Sporting all day. Thank you for the Group H winner at minus 105. Ridiculous. Love it. Group I, Belenenses, Fiorentina, and Basel, and Lech Poznan. Boy, Fiorentina is only minus 135 there. There's some combo material there for somebody. I mean, that's a decent price right there. And like I mentioned, I know the Italian sides, like I mentioned, don't come out here and really kill themselves when it comes to Europa League. But something tells me Fiorentina is going to try and make a deep run here. You know, they want to prove that what they're doing in Serie A so far. They've certainly come out and then spoke about what expectations they have on their campaign this year. And so, you know what, maybe they might just come out and be the team from Italy, but might go deep in this event. And at minus 135, there's certainly a little bit of room there. I mean, it's not my favorite line to offer out there. Minus 135 is pretty much my cutoff when it comes to really giving out a pick. I mean, anything after minus 135, minus 140, man, it's not worth it, at least to me. When you've been handicapping for as long as I have, if you can't recognize the fact that minus 125, minus 135 is really your cutoff point, you can't go around suggesting things at minus 120. I love going on Twitter sometimes, seeing these people recommend minus 240s or minus 270s. It's just like, dude, are you really going to put your reputation on the line putting a minus 270 on the board? You schmuck. Come on, man, really? Anytime I see one of those people, I'm just like, block. Don't care what you ever have to say for the rest of your life until you figure out what the hell you're talking about. But let's move on to Group J here in Europa League. Quarterback, Anderlecht, Monaco, Tottenham. Ooh, hello. Nice group, right? Tottenham minus 100 or minus 102, I guess it is. You post even money. Depends on how you look at that, but Tottenham's probably going to come out of that group. Can you imagine Monaco didn't look that impressive to start their campaign in their club competition campaign, of course. And Anderlecht at plus 450. As much as you'd like to put a play on them to maybe come out of there, Tottenham's going to come out of that group. You'd imagine. I mean, they haven't looked actually all that impressive either in their English Premier League. Maybe they will come out of there, but I haven't been impressed with Tottenham, and I imagine if they're going to have to start taking Premier League much more serious than the Europa League. Yeah, Monaco's probably got a pretty good shot there, of course. We'll see. That's a tough group to predict, Group J. It really is. Even with quarterback, they're not going to win that group. I don't think anyone out there, except for their fans, are the ones who are really in support of the 20 plus 2,500. But let's look at Group K here. Sparta Prague, Apoel, Schalke, and Tripolis. Man, Schalke at minus 240. What do you do there? You move on and you say nothing. There's no money there to be had. Group L, Augsburg, Partizan, Alkmaar, and Bilbao. Interesting, right? Bilbao favored to win that group, huh? Bilbao to come out of Group L. It's interesting. They certainly gave Barcelona all they could deal with so far. They played them like 3 times right before in the campaign started. Actually beat them once too. They looked pretty good. So maybe Athletic Bilbao is minus 120 to play there. Of course, the line setters know what they're doing. Imagine that's why Bilbao's favored at minus 120 to come out of Group L. But Alkmaar, I wonder if Alkmaar is going to find a way to put up a little fight there. It'd be nice to see a surprise here and there, right? I mean, it's so easy to predict a favorite to come out of each group. No. Where number one, there's no value in it. Number two, where's the fun in that? Come on. If you're not thinking dog, you got to think dog a little bit here. It's certainly something I like to do. But, like I mentioned, we're going to have Phil come on next week, hopefully, and we'll break down more of these groups. We'll have hopefully a little bit more time to hang out. And, I can't believe the half hour went by that quick. Wanted to get into some MLS and North American Soccer League, of course, with Cosmos taking on. Nice little match this week with Tampa Bay. Boy, I hope the weather holds up down there. Of course, everybody kind of paying attention to the weather that's going on in Florida. It's pretty nasty right now, and we'll see how that goes. But, let's get everybody out of here. Just like I said, I just want to give everybody a little review. what's going on with Champions League and Europa League group stages, and talk about some Serie B. Of course, I'm going to be giving out some Serie B recommendations if you'd like to get involved in any of that. You can find me over at my EJ the Rainmaker on Twitter, and just add me. I'll see you, and I'll add you back, and then you can say, dude, I'd really like to have your Serie B this year. Yeah, you probably should. I would mind helping anybody with that, because one thing that you really need to know about is
you and now Rainmaker.
Yeah, that's I pretty much made a name for myself because of Italian Serie A and Serie B. So, yeah, it's can't wait. Of course, the Coppa Italia is going on as well. Getting those plays out there. It was cool. I had actually like 4 or 5 people send me private messages over at Twitter saying, "Dude, I'd love to have a Serie B and Coppa Italia this year." Yeah, you think? You probably should. So, all right, let's get you out of here. Again, I appreciate everyone taking the time to listen to the Get More Sports World Tour Soccer podcast this week. I am EJ Garg, and again, thank you everyone for listening this week. We'll be back next week with Phil Schoen, hopefully, from BN Sports. Great commentator. He's been out here, I think, 2 or 3 times already. He's been on our show here at Get More Sports. So it's nice to have Phil make another guest appearance, and we'll break down all these leagues and all these group stage stuff, and we'll get you all set, hopefully, with some more plays and predictions for that. And again, you can find me any time over at my EJ the Rainmaker on Twitter. And again, you know what we're going to do here? We're going to leave you with the sound of the Vuvuzela.